Uses of these triangles are numerous. Let's say you wish to do your pillars. You don't need to buy an angle jig. You don't have to do anything extreme. You just pull yourself a little place here. Let's say I have a little bit of a wall here. And this is for people who can't wrap their heads around the geometries. So, very simple. This is a 90. I always square off my work. This was pre-squared, but we can do it again. That's a 90 now. If you ran it once here, or to the other edge, and again here, you're gonna have 90 degrees somewhere. So, if I want to have, again, something that joins onto something with 60 degrees, I would get my 60 here, and just slice it off like this. Don't worry about a hole in here. I actually have a tendency to leave a cutouts, so I can actually keep slicing like this. The most important part is this is supporting your 60 in the air. So you're gonna be able to work with this if you hold it together and you got yourself a 60-degree cut here. So what happens if you wish to do a same cut on the other end? There's two ways of doing this. You can go and slot everything there until you reach this and just cut it off. Or as we said, 30 left, 30 right, which is you can flip your work when you still have it squared off. And looking at this edge here, right, you wanna just flip it until you have your proper orientation that you wanna have. Cut it again. You got two parallel edges. Now, what if you don't want to have a parallel edge? You want to have this way, that way? Well, that was actually pretty easily done. You would cut your first one like this, and you would cut your... Oh yeah, so that's the basic thing. If you want to have a pedal like this, and just flip it like this. If you want the other way around, flip it again. And you end up with opposite sides. Now, if you want to turn this again, you're on your own. You're gonna need some spatial reasoning with this. You might want to simplify these cuts if you really want to like third dimension with tilting the wire. So this is one of the uses. You don't need any angle jigs or whatever. You got your angles here. You want to do a 30-degree cut. Again, you put it here, slice it off. You have your 30 degrees. So 30 always has an opposite of a 60 to a full 90. Remember this. If you wish to do, for example, some other stuff, these angles come very useful if you modify them a little bit. For example, I'm going to show you now nifty trick. If you want to make a 30 and a 60-degree slicer, sort of for plates or something, get a number of these, or get a large piece of stock or something, like a really thick piece of XPS foam, and cut it in this shape so it's like extruded like really thickly. And I'm gonna show you what you can do. So you take your 90 here, and that's why I say sets, right? You're gonna need the other one here. So if you want to go square in, you're gonna need about 18 mils. This is 18 mils here. So you can take just like a cut like this. And you're gonna have plenty of cutoffs when you're working like this with your triangles. Doesn't matter, this is a quick fix, not a precision work at this moment, but there you go. You got yourself a guide rail. You slam it over here. And you might want to actually have this really nice, but you want to have really one nice straight edge. This is just a quick demo. I made myself a set that's way more precise, and you can do it too for a practice. But basically what's happening now, you got yourself a 60-degree edge, which means if you put a plate, if you put a card, you put anything on the other edge of it, as long as you have enough length here, and you can shift the length as well in the angle between your wire and your board here, you can start carving also edges. So you can do your plates with edges or roofs or whatever you want to do. You do want to keep a lot of this, like at least a little bit of distance from this wire, otherwise this might happen, but you're also gonna square it off. Another implementation of this tool is the following. Slide it to your wire, put this straight edge onto it, and really have it shaven off. Really go and really squeeze it into the wire so it's cut off. This one doesn't look the best, but it's good. It's good if you have multiples or stuff like this. What's gonna happen is this now is a support for really high pieces, walls or something that you want to be trimming that has to be like tilted or whatever. You can lean it in. For example, I got like a super cheap XPS, but it came with a waffling. And for example, now I have a shape here that needs to have this waffling cleaned off, but I need to do a really thin cut. I'm gonna dial in myself a little bit of a space here, and I want to keep it stable, and that's why I have a cross guard here. And you can do a very fine cut that's reasonably straight because you're doing it at a right angle that you did on the machine, and you're keeping it straight and steady. You also worked out these edges, meaning you can dewaffle the stuff. That's why I got a bunch of these cards here, because I'm dewaffling the shapes that I'm doing. You can save these actually all for demos, for practice, for gribbles, unless you're really bothered with this on the other end. I don't know how the glue is gonna hold, but it's still carvable, it's still usable, and I say good practice pieces or just sheets for something. I think you can do actually pretty decent, how do you call them? Shingles. You can do shingles out of this maybe. So that's the uses of these triangles. They're very useful tools. Your imagination is the limit, as well as the components of the machine, because the thing is, you're not going to be doing like a long planks with an edge like this, doing it this way across this part of the rail, because you have an issue with the fact that you're going to go against the bow and you're going to be able to cut. So you can also flip it the other way around. Or even better, you can flip it this way around and come down with a big plate here, but you're gonna need to build yourself the rest of your tool set here, and it's just gonna be from one fixed angle, but you still kind of have it. Or as said, you can do yourself a 60-degree plate, and again, if you have a stack of them, you can just kind of you can really come into here into the wire. Also, good thing for plates, edges, long extrusions like this, I wouldn't recommend going into some crazy stuff. And this is the thing, you really don't need to come work like this. You can slice it like this, and it's just the same thing as going it's all the same 90-degree axes, and there's always two of them, they're always a 90, so you can always come here with your angle, work it off, and off you go. Here's the deal with these guys: if they're cut properly, if they have nice angles and stuff, you can actually use them to calibrate. Turn off the machine and calibrate your wire. Just have it sit on the bed. You're gonna have a 90-degree and a 45. So if you flip it to have a read off from the wire, you're also set. So basically, you don't need any fancy protractors. You don't need anything. The machine has everything that you need on itself. Your first cuts are gonna be crucial, and it could be done like this. You can buy yourself as well machined ones. I didn't find any metal blocks that I can use here, but I would love to have a set of them. But you can use 45, 15, and a 30-degree. Remember, your first cut is gonna be like that. You really wanna hold it tight. You wanna have it precise, but once you first done that first cut, with the angles that you want to have, you got your tool set ready, you got the toolkit ready. You can actually use some of the shapes like this as well when you don't really connect the whole triangle. Just leave it a little bit of a cutoff. I think I have some of them here ready. So that's the same thing here. You got a 90, a 60, and a 30. And you can keep using them also as well. This is still going to give you 30 with a room to cut, or sorry, this is not a 30. Yeah, that's a 30 still. But then you can have stuff like this without actually cutting into your material, and you can start working with. Keep sliding it across the rail with your piece and you're done. You got your cuts. Enjoy, have fun, and I hope to see you on my Discord channel. Link is going to be in the description. I'm actually designing a tool for doing hexes, octagons, and other shapes efficiently and combine those as a circular jig. And if you want to see this, let me know. I'm going to put a PDF and everything on the online when it's ready. Okay? Have fun and have fun creating.